Unit 3 test examples. I'm going to go through the 8 questions and example problems. You should use this video to stop, pause, rewind, fast forward to get through these problems to give you some help. So the first one is an example. It shows an image, shows the intersection of some lines creating angles, angle A, angle B, 45 degrees, C, and 135. We want to match the angle relationship with the image. You are given a list of definitions and a list of angles, and we have to match them. I want you to look at this problem first if you are not sure how to start. Here are some definitions. So vertical angles are congruent. These are angles that are opposite each other when two lines cross. So 120 degrees is equal to 120. So those are vertical angles. They are across from each other when two lines cross. An acute angle is less than 90 degrees. We have a right angle shown here. That is 90 degrees as shown by this box. A straight angle is a straight line, and an obtuse angle is larger than 90 degrees. So knowing those, I'm just going to go to the answer right now. You can click on this link and find all the definitions. You could go to your vocabulary and look at those. But let's go through them. AC is a line and BD is a line. So these two cross each other. So let's just start with vertical angles. Which ones are vertical angles? A and C are across from each other. These are vertical angles, A and C. This one is this acute angle and this acute angle, and they are congruent. So you can see right here, A and C is one of your answers, and it goes here. The other way you can look at these are, we see 135 degrees. Well, this is 135 degrees. That is an obtuse angle, so we can put that one there. So you can look at these. And then we have the other word, acute angle. So what do we see as an acute angle? Well, 45 degrees it is, C is, A and B. All of these are acute angles, but you're going to look at your choices. We have 45 degrees and angle C. So these two are acute angles. They all are, but you don't have the choice to choose all of those. So we have 2 is 45, and then a linear pair. So we're just given these to work with. A, B, and 45 degrees makes a linear pair. That's not one of our choices. We do have a choice of C and 135 degrees. You can see if we add these two together, they do equal 180 degrees. So use what you know, use what you have in your answer bank, and take your time going through number 1. Number 2 is a little bit of algebra, given that angle AEB, and where is AEB? AEB, this is this angle, and DEC are vertical angles. Big deal here is this vertical angles. All right, vertical angles are congruent. Remember this one, vertical angles are congruent. So we were given that these two are vertical angles. So think equal sign in between the two of them. So this one is 5x minus 1. This one is 3x plus 40. Put an equal sign in between them. So I've done that here. I take my 5x minus 1, an equal sign, and 3x plus 40. Each side I subtract 3, and I get this line right here, 2x minus 1, because 5 minus 3 is 2. We still have my minus 1. We still have an equal sign. 3x minus 3x is 0, and we're left with 40. We want to get that x all by itself, so we're going to add 1 to each side. And then we get 2x equals 41. Divide both sides by 2, we get x is 20.5. So take your time on this. I know, work on it step by step. You can use this example. Have your question right next to it. Walk through it step by step. This one says we have a triangle labeled MAN and a triangle ELF. Match the congruent part. So angle M goes with what? Line segment NA goes with what? And angle A goes with what? I'm just going to go to the answer page because it's easier to see if you want to put them up and down. So I have my MAN right here. It's bigger and it's color coded. And then I have my ELF. These say these two triangles are congruent. So wherever the M is in the first spot, so is the E. So if we look at angle M is congruent to angle E because they are corresponding angles. It means they are the same measure. So angle M is congruent to angle E. The next one says line segment NA. So I'm going to see N is in the last spot and A is in the middle. NA is congruent to FL. Why? Because F is in the left, corresponds with N, A corresponds with L. You could also just use this this order right here to answer these. So angle A goes with angle L. So you can see A is in the middle, so does L. Number 4, we're going to work on the triangle congruence. We have side, side, side. That means if you have 3 sides congruent to 3 sides, you can say that these 2 triangles are congruent. Side, angle, side, I'm given a side, then an angle, and a side. So I'm given 2 sides, 1 angle, and the angle is in the middle. So we can prove these 2 triangles are congruent by that postulate. So we are given 2 angles, 1 side, and that side is in the middle. So you can see 2 angles, 1 side, and the side is in the middle. I can use angle, side, angle. This second to last one, we are given 2 angles and a side, just like the one above it, but that side is not in the middle, it's off to the edge, so we have angle, angle, side. We can prove these 2 are congruent. And the last one is hypotenuse, leg, which is for right triangles only. So if you have a right triangle, the hypotenuse is congruent to another hypotenuse, and the side is congruent to another one. We can say these triangles are congruent. So you are given like a mini proof, and you need to say which postulate these 2 are congruent and what is the congruent statement. So part A, by the what postulate. So we're given side, 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 angle, side, and angle, side, angle. So we were given 2 sides and an angle. So it's not number 4. We don't have 3 sides. We have 2 sides. The angle is in the middle. Here's 2 sides. The angle's in the middle. So it is this one for that postulate. So then you can say that we have A to B to C is congruent with, we have to find what is the one that corresponds with A, and that's X, because there is nothing, we have nothing here, and then 2 tick marks here. So X, Y, Z is congruent to ABC. Number 5, given that triangle SUN is congruent to triangle FOG, with the measures of angle S is 115 degrees. The measure of angle U is 45 degrees. What is the measure of angle G? So we were given S and U from this one, and we want to find G here. Well, we know that G and N have the same measure, right? G and N. So if we can find N, we know that we can find G. So how do we set that up? We look at this one right here, S plus U plus N is 180 degrees. Why? Because all the angles inside of a triangle equal 180 degrees. We plug in the 115 and 45, and we get 160. And we find that N is 20. And you can go back and check your work, 115. So number 6, which set of rigid motions shows why triangle DAY is congruent to HUG? So we want to look at these 2 triangles, purple and green. I will tell them DAY. You can see we're going to go from this purple one to the green one, and how do we get there? So you're going to look at what is happening throughout these. There's going to be 2 things that are happening to the triangle, and I'm just going to bring the answer up right now. So day is a reflection of hug. So how do we get there? So we're going to reflect over this y-axis. So if you reflect over the y-axis, the y will be here, the d is going to be here, and the y is going to be right here. And then we're going to translate it down 2 units to get to that point. That should be down 5 units. So we're going to reflect day over the y-axis. Then our A is going to be on this side, our Y is going to be on this side, and then we're going to translate it down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. Number 7, Bo wants to construct a perpendicular bisector of AB. What are the steps from start to finish? You can go ahead and look at these directions. I brought them up on my computer. So let's see the directions for constructing a bisector. So I click on that link and you can see, you can watch the perpendicular bisector being constructed. An arc above, an arc below. We've got some arcs here, and draw a straight line. You can also see the directions are right here, and these are all in the classroom if you want to look at those at any time. They're in the classroom. So again, construction directions, you can find them in the classroom. We're going to go one more time on the triangle congruence, and we have a proof. So in this one, we just need to see what is given, right? And then the last 3 steps. So I will go ahead and just give the answer. You can take a minute and look at it. But we were given 3 things. These 3 we were given. So you want to make sure those are all in your given. You were proving this one. So you know that's going to go down here. So how do we get from this line to this line? Or sorry, this line to this line? We subtracted H and we subtracted J. We have the angle congruence postulate, and we have those 2 triangles congruent.